Hey, welcome to the Paint Party Challenge. I am so happy you're here. My name is Heidi, and I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to paint this painting using a toothbrush. Not just a toothbrush. We're going to use a toothbrush. We're also going to be using a few brushes, but honestly, I did almost the entire painting with a big brush and a toothbrush. So are you ready to accept the Paint Party Challenge? I hope you are, because we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to teach you how to do this with no tracers, easy step-by-step painting. And then I'm also going to be talking to you throughout the teaching on how you can do this to make money for your Christmas or whatever you want. So welcome to the Paint Party Challenge. Okay, so all you need is a toothbrush. I got this off Amazon, or steal your kid's toothbrush, I don't know. Or your partner's toothbrush. Also, I have a 1-inch brush, kind of a medium round brush. It can be like a size 6 or 8, but honestly, it can be the cheap brushes in Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and then a liner brush. So again, I'm looking at a 1-inch brush, kind of a medium round brush, and a liner brush, and a toothbrush. Okay, now the 3 paints that we're going to use first is just going to be white. I love Deco Art Americana, but you can get any kind of craft acrylic paint that you want. This one is crystal blue. It does not have to be the exact one that I have. And please screenshot or take a picture or write it down. And then this one is desert turquoise. Okay, if you need to rewind and screenshot with my tongue out, I'll do it one more time. Okay, so grab these colors, and then what we're going to do first is we're going to grab our 1-inch flat brush, and what we're going to do is start in the middle. So I'm going to take a little bit of white with the 1-inch flat brush and some of that crystal blue color, because I want the center of this to really be light. So it's almost like we're painting a bullseye. So just kind of go back and forth between white paint and crystal blue paint to where you get it really good and light, okay? And I love to do a figure 8 style. So what I mean by that is, see how it goes into a figure 8? It pulls and pushes, pulls and pushes, pulls and pushes, pulls and pushes. That's so relaxing. I want to be on a boat right now. It's Christmas. We're not on a boat. Okay, so we're just going to grab this, and then we're going to just fill it all the way in. Okay, now we're just going to kind of get to where we're going a little bit up here. And again, go back to that white. Make sure you get some good white in there so that you can have it pretty light in the center part. Now, this part's pretty fun and easy. I'm just going to dip a little bit into my turquoise color. Again, it does not have to be the exact one. I'm using desert turquoise, but it does not have to be the exact one. And I'm going to start taking desert turquoise with the crystal blue, the lighter blue. Now I'm going to start figure 8 over on the sides. Figure 8, figure 8. Same thing over here. So let me go ahead and get a little bit of my blues on here. And then I'm going to go to my crystal blue, and actually blend it in. See how that's working? And have this kind of go right in here. Now, while I'm doing this, and while you're doing this, if you need to pause at any time, please do. Make sure you pause at any time. But while I'm doing this, I'm going to put this flat so I can just, paint this while I'm talking to you a little bit about this. But I know one of the things that stops people from teaching a paint party is they're not really sure how to get started. Now, what I've learned through teaching paint parties for now over 17 years. Yes, that's right. I've taught thousands of paint parties. I was an art teacher before, went bankrupt, a business owner, and now I teach paint parties, and I teach people all over the world how to teach paint parties. And here's what I've learned through over 17 years of experience is that the hardest part is just doing the practice party or the guinea pig party. Now, let me explain. It is not a party with guinea pigs. This is a party where you maybe grab a friend, a family member, and you just literally teach them this tree around your kitchen table in your, maybe on your back porch, something like that. Grab some hot cocoa, a glass of wine, whatever suits you. and you just teach them exactly how I'm teaching you, okay? So again, we're dipping in the blue, the darker turquoise here, the desert turquoise, and we're dipping into the crystal blue, and we're just getting that blended along the edges. Okay, so this is really what the paint party challenge is all about. I'm not going to challenge you to go over to a restaurant and try to actually book a party in person. I'm just challenging you to take what you learned today and teach a family member. Take what you learned today and teach your kid. Take what you learned today, teach a grandkid, a neighbor, a friend, a spouse, whatever that looks like for you. Because what I have learned is once you do that, it just sets something off in your brain of like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And as you notice, it is a lot of fun, which I hope you are having fun right now. Okay, so as I'm blending this, again, it does not have to be perfect. As you can see, it is not perfect, but see how I've left some edges? That's because we're doing the next step. We're going to do the next blending, which is a little bit of black. So I usually put my brush in my mouth. I know that's not the best thing to do, but that's what I do. Okay, so now I'm going to take the brush. I'm not rinsing it. I'm just going to take a little bit of black. And when I mean a little bit of black, just a little bit on the edge of this brush. Now watch what I do here. I'm just going to take it and just kind of get the placement of where it needs to be. So if I need to re-dip, I will. So I'm going to re-dip, grab, kind of place it around the canvas. And then we're just going to take this with that darker turquoise, the desert turquoise. We're going to mix them together. And then now we're going to do the same technique. It's just that same technique. We're just kind of blobbing it, having that feeling of just loving this. Okay. Just blending, blabbing, blobbing, all of that stuff. So fun. So if you got too much black, you can grab a little bit more turquoise and go over it. And again, if you want to do that figure 8 style, just back and forth with the figure 8, that will help you. Okay, remember, you can do any size canvas. A lot of times people ask me, where do you get your canvas in bulk? I just go to Michael's, y'all. I just go get the 7-pack. This is an 11 by 17, 7-piece set, 7-pack. They always have them on sale. So if you need to screenshot, ready, set. Okay, so hopefully you got that. And then if not, you can rewind it, pause this, whatever you need to do. So I usually just get the 7-piece, just an easy pack, and then I can do this practice party or guinea pig party, as I like to call it, at your house. And again, you don't have to charge to do this first one. I just want you to take action, because when you take action, things start to happen. Now, here's one of the coolest things that I have noticed since I've done paint parties. So again, my whole thing is, yes, I started paint parties because I needed to make money, right? I went bankrupt. I lost everything. I ended up starting a business accidentally. But then I started noticing like, it's more than just about paint parties. Now, before I tell you that story, I'm going to grab just some of the desert turquoise, and just kind of this time, it's almost like we're just doing these almost like blobs. Okay. So kind of watch the technique here. It's just basically like almost like X's, but it's just to give it some texture. Okay. Nothing serious. We're not doing heart surgery here. We're just blobbing in. Okay. So I just thought, and while this is kind of drying, I'm going to take some black and just paint my edges. Okay. So I'm literally just going to go like this all along the edges, because if you can see in our beautiful painting, we did some hearts. We did some designs on the edges that just give it some more character. So we're going to go ahead and get these edges painted solid black while I talk to you about kind of why paint parties have changed my life. But I noticed that when I would do these paint parties, I would have somebody that maybe showed up alone or by themselves, and they would tell me like how much just the action of painting healed, how much like maybe they were struggling with PTSD or going through a hard time, and it really, really just took their mind off of everything. And so I really, truly feel like sharing God's love through art And this is just one of the ways I get to do that is through paint parties. And I think for me, it's never really been about paint parties. It's always been about sharing God's love through art. And I think what's really cool is you go there thinking it's, just going to be like, there a reason to make money, but then you end up like having fun, making friends. Some of my best friends are from paint parties that I've met that next party I do, they're there, or we get to know each other and their families. And so there's so much potential instead of just making money. It's so cool that you get to do this. It is serious money for sure. And you can literally make, just by teaching this painting for a group of 10, $35, that's $350 in less than 2 hours. So it is some serious, I always say paint party money is serious money. And I think it's the funniest thing when somebody's like, oh, you're a paint party business. And I'm like, you have no idea. Like I made $2,000 in 2 hours. Like it's crazy money. So I am just so excited to show you all of this. Okay. Now that we have the edges, I want you to take just pure black for me real quick. And you're just going to take a little bit and just kind of go on the edges, almost like you're just brushing it on there. Okay. Just getting a little bit on there, not a lot, but you just want that edge to kind of have another dimension. And this is where I highly recommend, as you're listening to me, go ahead and ask, your playlist to play some good music. I love to set the environment for my paint parties. For example, I have a great playlist inside Paint Party Headquarters, and that basically has like all the great music so you can be listening and jamming out at your paint parties, because you want to create an environment of excitement, of fun. During Christmas, I'll play holiday music that's upbeat. So while you're listening to me, play some of that great music, play that funky music. No, just play some great music, play something you love, and something that's upbeat, something that just, gets you in the spirit. And of course, have your favorite drink on standby, whatever it is, coffee, tea, a glass of wine. And always, anytime I'm painting, I either have like a movie on that's one of my favorite movies, or I love Miracle on 34th Street. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I'll have like one of my favorite movies on, or I'll have some great music on, or great podcast or something, just to kind of get me in the spirit. Okay, now that we have that, let's rinse our brush. Okay. So to rinse your brush, I just get these cheap, kind of solo cups or whatever, or dollar store cups. And then I just rinse. I'll use the same water, y'all. It's nasty for weeks, but I know that's not the way you do it at a paint party. So just kind of see, I'm kind of washing her hair. I always say wash the bristles hair all the way on the bottom. And then you can get it out like that, and then just dry it on a paper towel. So it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but that usually does the job. Okay, you remember how I said I pretty much painted the whole thing with one paintbrush? We're using the same paintbrush. Same paintbrush. All right, so I am going to grab we're going to switch to a different color. So this is my plate so far. Now I'm going to go ahead, and now we're going to use some different colors, okay? We are going to use 2 greens. We're using dark Hauser green and an Irish moss. So if you need to screenshot, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Got it? All right, so Hauser dark green and an Irish moss. Now, if you don't have these 2 greens, just make sure you have a dark green and a light green. I mean, I don't care. You can paint the tree purple. It doesn't matter. It's totally fine. Either way. All right, so I have those 2 on there. And then what I'm going to do is take this brush. I'm going to grab the green on both sides like this. And then I'm going to start not too high, because I want to make sure I have a place for my star. And I'm just going to drag it down. So the key to this is basically look where you're going, not where you are, kind of like riding a bike. More paint on this shirt. That's what I do. So then I just bring it down and I stop about right here, about an inch from the bottom. Okay. What we're going to do now is just basically kind of have our placement. So I'm just going to kind of put me a line here, almost like it's a stand. So at a paint party, I always like to start with something like Because I know a lot of times when you're first teaching paint parties, you can be so scared that everybody's looking at you to be the best artist, for example. So what I always do is I like to take the attention off of me for a second. So it gives me a chance to take a breath. So I always say, hi, my name's Heidi. I'm so excited you came tonight. Can you please tell me if you have ever painted before? And then you'll have a few people raise your hand and you're like, oh, that's great. Okay, who has not painted before? And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're here. I cannot wait to see what you do. Now, remember, this is going to be step by step, so you can paint anything you want, but I'm going to teach you this, but feel free to paint anything you want. Then I say, this is just a little fun tip if you ever want to do this. You can pause this, you can write it down, but here's what I always say, and it kind of gets a laugh, plus it kind of lets the tension go. I say, okay, everybody raise your right hand and repeat after me. I promise not to judge my painting or my neighbor's painting until the very, very end. And then they usually start laughing. Now, then I'll go, okay, let's get started. Okay, I want you to grab your big brush and you're going to dip a little bit into the blue, the light blue, and a little bit into the white, just like I showed you at the very beginning. Now, that's an easy tip to get people going so you're not freaking out. And I know it feels weird at first, but I promise once you've done a practice party and you've done a few parties, it just starts to come natural and you start to really get everything in groove. Even my timing on when it's time to take a picture, all of that, and we'll see how we do beautiful pictures at the end. All of that is really, really great inside just your paint party. You want to make sure you're really documenting it. It's great for marketing. As you get better at this, you'll be teaching a painting, taking pictures, doing all of it all at once, and you don't even know what's going on because you've just done it so many times. Okay, so what I want you to do, and you can tell your guests this as well during your practice party, because remember, you've taken the paint party challenge. You want a pinky? Let's pinky promise, okay? Let's pinky promise real quick. Pinky promise? I promise to do the paint party challenge with one of my friends or my neighbor or my kids or my grandkids or whoever, so that I can see how I can actually make money doing this and change my family's future. Very, very excited for you. Okay, so this is an easy step. You're going to take a little bit of that green. All you're going to do on this one, you have to put your brush up like this, and you basically just do the letter V upside down. Now, once you do that, this is the tricky part. You don't want to start swooshing yet. You're just doing a line all the way over from that top part. So that way you keep this part really, really small. Okay? All right. Load your brush again with the dark green. Now we're going to start right here and we're going to do a V again, but this time we're going to kind of make it just a smidge bigger. Not much, not too much bigger. And then watch what I do. I'm just literally taking it and making sure I don't go too far down. You got to think of it almost like you want to think about every time you do your tree, you're just going a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. So you're not really going way down here when we're brushing it. You're just keeping it a little bit. Okay, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Okay, so just follow along, and I promise it's not too bad. Okay, so now we have that one. Now we want to do another one. So this one's going to be a little bit bigger out. So a little bit bigger out, and then we're just going to follow this along. And then just fill it in as it goes down. And we can get a little fancy if you feel like you're ready for that. Just kind of a little, almost like a little swoop, swoop. You have to say that. That's the only way it makes it work. Swoop, swoop. Okay. I'm going to do it again. This time, a little bit more. We're keeping that same height in the center, but then swooping it out. So we're loading our brush. loading our brush, and then making another, swooping it out. Feel free to pause this. Feel free to go back, rewind. Feel free to just watch it, then go get the supplies and then do it whenever you get home. The key is, though, since you have accepted this paint party challenge, is to actually take action. Did you know that's the most common thing with the difference between people who have money they're making from paint parties versus people who want to do this but never do? Simply just take an action. Isn't that crazy? It's really not like rocket science. It's just take an action. I'm going to do this one. This is going to be my last one. So I'm going to make this one even bigger. And then this one, again, you want to be cautious not to go too far down. And then you're going to bring that one out. Voila! You are almost there. So proud of you. Okay, so give yourselves a pat on the back, okay? All right, so we're going to look at it. If we need to clean up any areas, I feel like right here I can make this one go a little bit more out to match it. And then see how I am painting with you right now? A lot of times I am just showing the step at a paint party and then I'm walking around and helping. So I know sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to paint this whole painting in front of everybody. That is not true. It's not always the case. All right, so now that we have all of this on here, what we're going to do is simple. We are going to rinse our brush. We're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, you want to let it dry just a few minutes. So get you a refill, find you some, better playlist if that one's not working for you. And now you're going to grab your Irish moss. Ready for a screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now you're going to grab your Irish moss. You're going to do the exact same thing, okay? Exact same thing. So I've loaded up my flat brush, still using the same brush. And now I'm just going to not go as much. I just want to highlight it a little bit, okay? So now I'm just finding a couple of places. Now, obviously on that top one is going to be a little bit trickier, but now I'm going to do it over here so you can really see it. I'm just adding a little bit of that bright green. So I'm still letting that darker green show, but I'm adding a little bit on top. And this one can go way faster. This should only take you a couple of minutes at most because you're just blobbing, blobbing, blobbing. And yes, that is a very, very technical word. All right, so we've gone over what canvases you need. We're gonna let that dry a minute. We've gone over what brushes you need. Just get some Craft Smart brushes. Again, the main thing is just having a 1-inch flat, a round, kind of medium looking brush, and then a liner brush. That's really the job that you need. That's really all you need. And then a toothbrush. Okay, so while that green is drying, what I want us to do now is we're going to take our big brush and we're going to add just a hint, just a very, very, very small amount of black, just right here where this tree is ending. Okay, so right here, we're just going to do a little bit of black and I'm just going to kind of shimmy it so it kind of grounds it just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe most of this black off and then I'm just going to kind of get a little bit in here. Pretty much it. Okay, I just wanted to have some depth to it. So when we add that snow on top, it's not just the same color as the rest of it. Okay, let's go ahead and rinse this. Now, this part is so easy and fun. You're going to use which brush? I bet you can't guess. This one, okay, same brush. We're going to dip it into our white paint, but we're going to use the back of it and we are going to dot. We are dotting away. This is just adding some snow to our canvas. This part is so easy, so fun. It's very fast. And it should take you 20 seconds or less. All right. Ta-da! Now, we still have stuff drying, so we're going to let it dry. While that's drying, I'm going to switch the brush over, use the same brush, grab some white, load it up on both brushes or both sides, and then I'm just going to tilt my canvas to where now I can, every inch, I'm just going to carefully place some white paint. Now, this part too is a very fast process. Everything I'm giving you is very, very beginner so that you can teach the brand new, never before painter in your area. And this is really, really cool to know, y'all, because I was talking to my daughter the other day. She's 17. I've been teaching paint parties since she was born. And she said we were coming home from Fort Worth, and she was like, Mom, I just think if I'm always going to be okay. If I ever get in a bind to make money, I'll just do a paint party. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's learning, because she's been teaching paint parties with me. She's been helping since she was 5 years old. So this girl has been around the paint party business her whole life, and she helps me set up, clean up. She needs to make money for gas, so she's always doing different jobs and stuff to help me. And maybe you don't have somebody that helps you, and that's okay. I did this for a long time where it was just me loading and going. So remember, as your paint party gets bigger and you have more parties booked, you can get somebody to help. But again, this whole paint party challenge is just about you painting this tree and then helping teach a neighbor, a friend, a cousin, a best friend, a spouse, a kid, a grandkid, this tree. That's all that we have pinky promised to each other. That's it. Because I know if you can get the confidence to do that, then there's no stopping you. Okay, so your next step, now that we have the dots on here, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and grab just this little brush. You can take the liner brush if you want. Now, I loaded up with white paint, and I know it's a surprise. We are grabbing a different brush. You don't have to use this one, actually. You can use that one, but this is a really easy thing. You don't have to put these on here, but I like to just do almost like little V's, but they turn into these adorable hearts. Now, again, if you don't want to put hearts on here, you do not have to. You can totally just make this with stars, but sometimes I just like to make my paintings a little bit more whimsical, a little bit more funky. And so I'm just adding these little hearts just in random places. And then you can also add little stars. An easy way, and I'm so sorry, y'all. I know, I know sometimes I talk really fast, but I get very, very excited. So I just know what this can do for your family's finances. And you can see some of the people inside Paint Party headquarters, some of their paint parties that they have had. So these are all members of Paint Party headquarters that have had paint parties, and they're making, some of these, they're making 300 a night. Some of them, they're making 2,000 a night. Some of them are making even more than that. If you charge around $35 a person, even minus your expenses, you are making so much profit, because this really is a customer service business. You're organizing a party, you're getting it together, and then you are able to really, really make some goals in your life happen. So as you look through these pictures, I want you to think about, like, Christmas, for example. How would it feel if you had all of Christmas paid for in cash, right? I used to always use credit cards. Then I went bankrupt and could not use credit cards anymore. I had to learn how to pay cash for Christmas. And so it's a different Christmas morning when you wake up and you know that this has been paid for already, and you're not going to have to start paying the toys off and paying the whatever you did for Christmas off in January. It's literally already paid for through your paint party money, which I love that so much. Okay, so all right, as we go through this, we're still letting the green dry. Now, the next thing is using, guess what brush? The biggest brush. We're going to grab that white paint, and you can get fancy with a star, but what I like to do is just do a very, very simple star. And how I do that is I just bring all the bristles up, over, and then I do an X. Okay, simple, simple, simple. Now, if you want to do that anywhere else in the sides of the canvas, you can. So if I want to do one here, I'm just going to do a line, and an X. Maybe I'll do one over here, a line, and an X. All right, so you can just add those in wherever you see fit and have a blast doing it. Okay, the next little step. We're going to rinse our brush. Our green is almost dry, so we can start adding snow. But while that is happening, I'm going to go ahead and do my splatter paint. So grab your toothbrush. You're going to dip it into the white paint. And then what I like to do is take my finger like this, and then I'm going to hold it up, and I'm going to just move my hand across the bristles. And if it doesn't have enough paint, I'm going to load it up more so that it really, really gets on there. Now, the cool part about this is you can see it's more of a dusting. So when you're in person with this painting, you can really, really see it's more of a dusting, and you can probably see the glitter on there too, which don't you worry, we will talk about that in a minute. Glitter makes everything better. We are a house divided. My husband hates glitter and I love glitter. So we have a rule. We got to keep all the glitter upstairs because he does not appreciate glitter like we do, like I do. Hopefully like you do. Okay, so we're just going to dust it on there. Just kind of go crazy, as much or as little as you want. Okay. Sometimes you got to hold one side so you can really get some traction on it. Okay. All right. So your fingers will probably look like this. You can just wipe them off if you want. And then while we're still waiting for the green to dry, I'm just going to grab, well, you guessed it, with this brush and just kind of blob some lines here to make it look like it's a little bit of a snow ground. Now, as you notice, this took me less than 20 seconds. That's it. Done. That's all I'm going to do. So just a few seconds to do that little piece, and that is it. Now, one more thing before we do the snow on the trees. So excited about this part. Okay, this is totally optional. If you're running out of time with your practice party, you don't have to do this, but I like to take the liner brush, and then on these beautiful sides that we did, I'm going to take that light blue color, and that same way that I did those hearts, I'm going to do them right here on the sides. So same way I did the hearts in the sky. I'm just going to throw them on the sides, on this side, and I'm going to turn it. So it's almost like a little V. Ta-da! You can get your sides so fancy, but if you're ever running out of time, you can skip doing the sides, even though it's just so beautiful. I don't recommend skipping it. All right, the next step before our glitter is adding the snow to the trees, okay? This is as easy as what we have already done. The key is just making sure it's all the way dry. Now, you have an option. You can go with the little brush and use the white, and then just kind of add it on there. So you can see where I'm just adding some placement on there. Then when you start to get to the bigger areas, and you're just doing little bits, you're not doing the whole tree, because again, if you do the whole tree, we're not going to be able to see it all. So once you start getting to this bigger area, guess what brush you can use? Yes, this one, the 1-inch flat. You can grab it and then just do a little placement of that snow. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get it on there, and it can be off a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered on both sides. And your painters that you're teaching during your practice party, the painters that you're teaching, you want to make sure that they're not mixing their green, okay? Now you set it down and you just take a good look at it. Does it feel like Christmas? Pat yourself on the back. I'm so, so excited for you. Okay, the last and final step. Well, besides your little signature on the bottom right, you can just do your initials, whatever, is glitter. Glitter. I love glitter so, so much. So this is my favorite glitter. I have used every kind of glitter for all of the paint parties I've done. Again, I've taught thousands of people at paint parties and have taught thousands of people how to teach paint parties and make money doing this. So trust me, when I say you can buy all kinds of glitter, you can see up there, I have all kinds of glitter at the top row. But here is what I have found is that if I use this one, which is Craft Twinkles Crystal, ready for a screenshot? Okay. All right. So if I use this one, it's easy for me to interchange it with any painting. So I could be doing a Santa Claus. I could be doing a Christmas tree. I could be doing a reindeer. I could also be doing a pumpkin. I could have a surfboard. I could do all of that and still use the same glitter. So what does that help me? Helps my budget, helps for my planning, helps for my packing, so many different things. All I'm going to do is put this glitter on my plate, use a brush, or if you're worried about people not rinsing it out, sometimes I say just use your finger and grab it. The key to using this glitter is it has to be dry, okay? So as long as it's dry, they can brush right on top of it and it's gonna have a shimmer. So I wanna show you what this shimmer looks like up close. You can kind of see it. Whoa. And people you will see grown women who have never used glitter before on a painting become like a child again, because it is seriously just fun. It's just fun. So never underestimate the power of glitter. Now, once you finish your painting, you want to look at it and you just want to go, okay, do I need more snow? Do I need more snow on the trees? It looks like I missed a whole section of snow over here. So just kind of look at your painting and see if there's places that you missed, and then you can add to it. And then of course, at the end of your paint parties, you always want to do photos, okay? Great photos at a paint party makes your paint party business go round. How did I miss that whole section? Oh, I see it now because I'm looking at it upside down. Let me get it. It's driving me nuts. Hold on. There we go. And great photos at your paint party make your paint party business go round. So after you paint something like this, again, post about it. You don't have to say, I'm teaching a paint party right now. You can just post some pictures of you and who you taught at your guinea pig practice paint party. And then it just sets the stage for possibly doing more. I want you to see the power of paint parties. Again, it's changed my life. It's changed my family's life. It's changed our finances. And I've taught many, many people, thousands all over the world, how to do this and how to make money for their family. So if you want to learn more, we have an awesome free gift for you if you want to join us inside Paint Party headquarters. And we're going to give you access to a mailed lookbook, which has hundreds of paintings that are already ready to go for you so that you can use them for any season. So if you want to learn more about this, please check us out. We would love to help you, and you can be a part of Paint Party headquarters today. And I just want to remind you, paint parties are not really about paint parties. You are going to meet amazing people. You are going to step outside your comfort zone, have a lot of fun, get a little messy, but it's going to be totally worth it. So remember, if you want access to all the exclusive designs inside Paint Party headquarters, as well as hundreds of trainings and ideas and tips for marketing, social media, all of that great stuff, come join me inside Paint Party headquarters. You are officially invited, and I cannot wait to help you more. See you inside. And thank you for taking the Paint Party Challenge.